Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here, and we are joined, of course, once again by the one and only dollar vigilante, Jeff Berwick. Thank you for joining us in some nice weather in California, California. Glad to see you speak at this cryptocurrency event. Crypto is not the mark of the beast, though it can be. I wanted to kind of go into that a little bit with you because there's a lot of confusion regarding centralization versus decentralization. It's like, well, China wants to create a social credit system and track every move everyone makes and, create a digital currency that enslaves humanity. But then you got this massive monetary revolution happening with cryptocurrencies that are actually truly decentralized and have fundamental value. Can you go a bit into this claim that like Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies are the mark of the beast and they're there to enslave us to the Federal Reserve?
Yeah, that's some people get really confused about that issue. The whole mark of the beast thing is very interesting, is in the Bible. I have a lot of questions about the Bible personally, about who changed some things in there or whatever. But it seems to be coming true, that part of the mark of the beast. Basically, that we'll get to a point where, in my opinion, if you read the Bible a certain way, basically the beast is government. And we're getting to the point where governments are controlling everything. And if they get to the point where they can digitally control the currency, they can tax you on every single thing you're doing, and we'll be even more enslaved than we are today. So I understand why some people get really upset when they hear about digital currencies. They think, well, the government's going to use it. Yes, they will, and they're already in process of doing that. But there's an entire other side of it, which is what Bitcoin originally was. Bitcoin's actually changed over time a little bit, and that's why there's been all these forks. People are really trying to create a currency that no government can control nor track. And those are incredibly important. So just like with any technological advance, it can be used for good or evil. And in my opinion, evil is anything government does, anything central banks does. But there's an entire other side to it. Now, they're going to use it one way or another. So some people will say to me, oh, you're going to hell because you're promoting the mark of the beast. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to tell people to stay away from that stuff and get into decentralized cryptocurrencies so that governments can't track you. And I would prefer if governments go away and central banks go away completely. I'm an anarchist. That's what I believe, and you are as well. But people get a little bit confused, and it is a little bit confusing to some people for sure.
I noticed in a Q&A that you did, one person mentioned as evidence that it's a mark of the beast that China has restricted access to something like Bitcoin. Meanwhile, China is like the most cashless society in the world. Why would they restrict people from using Bitcoin if Bitcoin was indeed the mark of the beast that the IMF was going to use? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me from the technology standpoint or the money standpoint. Scarcity versus there's scarcity, application use, demand, the subjectivity of value that has gone on for generations and centuries. Gold has it, Bitcoin has it. If you believe in like the original message of Satoshi Nakamoto. Going forward, what do you think is the greatest threat to humanity when it comes to the cashless society? Do you think that they can use Bitcoin to unroll the cashless society, or are we seeing that in another area right now?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I look at cash, and I can't believe people use it. Like, you can just print it up on your printer if you want. It's like a piece of paper with a dead criminal printed on it. Like, I think we'll look back 30, 50 years from now, even 3 or 5 years from now, and say, I can't believe people use that as money. So this whole idea that, cashless, like, see, people get a little confused about everything because there's so many things going on. So a lot of people are under the impression that if the government gets rid of cash, they'll put them into digital cash and they'll be able to track everything. And that's absolutely correct. But the answer isn't to keep cash. It's still fiat cash that is controlled by a central bank, which is a tenet of communism, which destroys the world using inflation. So cash is no great thing. I'm not saying to get rid of it. I'm not in favor of any government ever doing anything. I don't want them to make any laws about anything. I don't want them to even exist. But the real question is what will end up being the cash that we use. And the real critical thing is who controls the currency and who can issue the currency. And if it's a government or a central bank, we're just going to have the same problems we have now, but even worse. If it's something that is a cryptocurrency that has a limited value like Bitcoin or things like that, and you can't increase the amount and no one can control it, that's much, much better than even fiat cash that we have today.
It's amazing the doublespeak. You see it in Orwell's 1984, freedom is slavery, ignorance is bliss, all that kind of stuff. And they learn to love Big Brother in the end. And that's what I've noticed recently by people on the right, smaller government supporting, central banks. plank of communism, and then at the same time, government ownership of land. No, you can't come in from Mexico because we own this land. Therefore, basically everything within that landmass is enslaved by the state and owned by the state like cattle. It's interesting how people crusading for freedom in so many cases turn a blind eye to real solutions and then support actual communism. Where does this mentality come from? It just seems like a circular pendulum almost.
It's because almost everyone in the world today doesn't have any principles. So due to the government education system, indoctrination camps, the mainstream media television programming, people have no idea what's going on. They've never learned anything. They've just been told propaganda. They don't know any principles. And there's really only one principle that is of any importance, and that is don't hurt anyone else and don't steal from them, don't rob, and that sort of thing. That stuff's in the Bible, actually. That's some good things that are in the Bible. But a lot of people get really confused again about it. So a lot of people will say they're for freedom, but what they really mean is they're for freedom in some things. If you're only for freedom in some things, you're not for freedom. You're for slavery in some form or another, or extortion, or some sort of tyranny in one form or another. The only true good people out there are actual anarchists who are saying, don't force anyone to do anything ever. So
no matter how good your idea is, you cannot use force to enforce that idea on a giant collective of people. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it'd be like me saying, okay, I think decentralized cryptocurrencies are going to help the world so much, so I'm going to support government enforcing people. If I ever say that, shoot me in the head, please. Because
Will do.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time today. I think this is such an important point is what you just said. You know, if you support freedom until some form of slavery benefits you personally, then you are just as good as a socialist, as a conservative, as a progressive, as a communist, a fascist. It's all on this weird cultish scale of collectivism, this circular pendulum, like the right or the left. No, it's a circle, and you and I are outside of that circle, and we're trying to say it's great out here. Everything you do when the government isn't intervening is anarchy. We're not, dropping cherry bombs into parades and stuff and running around with like big curly mustaches, conspiring. We're conspiring to take over the world and leave everyone alone, and that is a beautiful thing, and that is real human action, humanity as it stands, intrinsically free human beings that are only taught to believe in this massive complex we call government and central banks and banks who benefit from our dependency and our slavery and our debt servitude, which all comes full circle. So I wanted to quickly promote Anarchapulco because that's coming up right away, and I'm really looking forward to that. Promo code WHAM, by the way. Promo code WHAM, save money on your tickets. Got that link below. And also I'm gonna get some links out there for TDV coming up right away. Let people know about the Dollar Vigilante and how they can get involved.
Sure, yeah. If you want to get into cryptocurrencies, and now is an excellent time to get into crypto. We actually put out on January 19th of last year, our senior analyst, Ed Bugos, said that this is when Bitcoin was around $17,000. He said he was predicting Bitcoin would hit $3,000 this year. We're almost near that point now. So he's been incredibly accurate with that. And we actually just started saying to start buying just in the last week, right after Bitcoin hit around 3,500. So if you want, a lot of people missed the boat the first few times. We've had a number of these since 2011, but the next one's going to be really big as well. And one of the best, well, in my opinion, I'm obviously quite biased, the best out there to provide this information is the Dollar Vigilante newsletter. And so you can sign up with your promo code so you can make some money as a good anarcho-capitalist. And
promo code's on the screen. Check it out.
I think it'll be WHAM, but check it out, make sure. And then Anarchapulco, you've been to many times. This year we're going to do something way beyond anything we've ever done. It's going to be true anarchy for an entire week in Acapulco. Basically, you can do anything you want as long as you don't hurt anyone else. We're going to have nude pools if you want. You don't have to go to them. If you don't like nude pools, you don't have to go.
Just going to be like you and Max Egan at the nude pool, or
God, that sounds horrible. And all kinds of just living totally free for a week. So for people out there, if you're wondering, if you listen to people like Josh and us and you're like, sounds kind of crazy, like what would happen if people just lived free? You can come and see it for 1 week in Acapulco.
Yeah. I highly recommend it. Craziest thing you'll ever see. Going from hanging out with the Wu-Tang Clan, experiencing a 7.5 magnitude earthquake, and hanging out with Ron Paul, and I don't know even what else I did. Just a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and that was all in 12 hours, guys. So, I mean, like, this is one of the... It's actually too fun. I will put that out there. Just for those wondering, as a media person, it's too much fun, because I got to get work done. But I really appreciate you joining us again.
So, the earthquake is not a guarantee for next year, but...
It was a lot of fun, though.
It was really interesting, because it came came just as Ron Paul was about to come on. It was almost perfect.
Yeah. And it wasn't complete anarchy. People were like telling each other, "Don't freak out. Let's walk out slowly."
It was complete anarchy.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's how that works. Anyway, thanks for talking with us today, and I'm sure we'll bump into you somewhere in the USSA or Kazakhstan, or actually maybe in Mexico next. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so vastly demonetized and censored on YouTube, as these guys come in and flag all of our content as hate speech. Also, check out our Bitcoin address below, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check us out at steemit.com. We're at Josh Sigurdson. It's a future of social media where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency, Steem that is. So make sure to check us out there. Make sure to join us at Anarchapulco 2019 with people like Ron Paul, G. Edward Griffin, of course, Jeff Berwick, Vigilante. So many incredible speakers are going to be speaking. It's just a massively growing event. It is something you have to see to believe. So make sure to check it out below and save money on your tickets by using promo code WAM, that's WAM, and I hope to see you there. Also, check out our newsletter as we are getting demonetized and censored and all that. We don't know what comes next, so we have an email, worldalternativemedia@gmail.com. Send us an email with subject line YES, YES, and we will include you in the newsletter where we will continuously keep you updated. So until next time, thanks for watching, everyone. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.